Whether it's land, sea, and air, we've got you covered. Welcome. This is Military Mind, and my name is Sascha Fahrbach. Overnight into April 1st, Russian forces launched nearly 350 strike UAVs, hitting multiple regions across Ukraine. One of the attacks targeted a civilian business in Poltava, where authorities reported one person wounded. In Lusk, Khmelnytsky, and Zhytomyr, drone strikes hit industrial facilities, with no casualties reported. On the front lines, a relative lull is currently observed. Now, during the winter, Ukrainian forces managed to halt the Russian offensive through counterattacks across multiple sectors from the Kharkiv region to the Dnipro and Zaporizhia regions. However, there are signs of preparation for a major Russian offensive. Now, both sides are currently redeploying troops and forming groupings that may later confront each other in battles. Russian forces have managed to break into downtown Kostyantynivka. Ukrainian troops continue to hold positions on the southern and southeastern outskirts of the city, occupying districts with multi-story buildings where drone operators are concentrated. Now, the experience of battles in Toretsk in 2025 shows that Ukrainian forces can maintain such defensive positions for months. Therefore, a rapid Russian breakthrough toward Kramatorsk through Kostyantynivka is unlikely in the near term. Now, after Russian forces captured the city of Siversk, located east of Kramatorsk and Slavyansk, which came as a surprise to Ukrainian command, they advanced westward along a broad front. Now, despite the rapid pace of Russian advances, Ukrainian command said that the situation stabilized following a change in leadership in defending units. Now, Ukrainian counterattacks into Russian rear areas slowed the Russian advance through Huliapole toward Orikhiv in the central Zaporizhia region. Now, Orikhiv is considered the main defensive stronghold of Ukrainian forces in the south. Attempts by Russian forces to break through the city from the west and south have not succeeded. According to Russian plans, capturing Orikhiv would likely require an advance along the front from the direction of Huliapole. Now, Ukrainian command responded to the threat with some delay, redeploying a strong grouping from the Pokrovsk direction. Now, Russian advances westward from Huliapole have also stalled. However, this may be a temporary pause, as Russian command is redeploying significant naval infantry forces from the Pokrovsk area. Moving to the Middle East. Following Iranian strikes, at least 25 people were wounded across 20 sites in Israel during attacks this morning. In Fujairah in UAE, one person was killed after being hit by shrapnel from an intercepted drone. In Kuwait, fuel depots at Kuwait International Airport were targeted by an Iranian drone strike, causing a massive fire and significant damage, though no injuries were reported. Now, Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels said they launched a barrage of ballistic missiles at southern Israel, claiming the operation was coordinated with Iran and Hezbollah. Now, the Houthis also warned they would continue attacks in response to what they describe as escalation by the United States and Israel. Now, the Israeli military reported it was working to intercept a missile launch from Yemen. After weeks of threats, Houthi forces entered the conflict more actively, including launching missiles toward Israel and warning they could disrupt a key maritime route at the southern entrance to the Red Sea. Ground-based robotic systems are deployed in situations where human presence poses an excessive risk. A recently released video shows the successful evacuation of a wounded Ukrainian soldier using such a system. The robotic platform drove directly to a position under fire, picked up the soldier, and transported him to a safe zone for further medical care. Now, the use of these systems saves lives of both the wounded and the evacuation teams, minimizing risks when operating in open terrain and under enemy surveillance. Now, robotics is gradually becoming an integral part of the modern battlefield. Russian fiber optic controlled FPV drone attempted to strike a Ukrainian ground-based robotics system while it was carrying out a combat mission. However, thanks to Ukrainian operators' quick thinking, the attack was ultimately unsuccessful. Now, the robot remained operational and continued its mission without interruption. Now in this next clip, a Ukrainian tank races toward Kostyantynivka, carrying a troop of soldiers on its hull ready to disembark on the move. Now, every 10 kilometers of this road is a separate battle for survival. Now, the airspace is constantly monitored by Russian drones, so the skill of the driver, his vigilance, and the coordinated work of Ukrainian drone hunters covering the convoy's movement play a decisive role. And to close out today's show, here's an incredible rescue story. Now, during a mop-up operation in the town of Mirne in the Zaporizhia region, Ukrainian troops rescued 2 fellow soldiers who had been taken prisoner. Not long after their capture, the Russians who took them were isolated and later neutralized thanks to the coordinated efforts of the units involved and the effective use of FPV drones. Now, the operation was a striking success. Prisoners were reunited with their comrades, and Ukrainian forces maintained control of the town. And with that, we close this episode of Military Mind, but stay right here on TVP World for much more.